Hey, this is JNM with a short Python OOP tutorial because many of you guys asked me about the classes in my Blender Python code. So let's create here a simple class that I name shape. A shape could be a geometric object in a 2D coordinate system. So we'll add here two member variables, an x and a y, in this init method. The init method is the constructor of the class that is called when the object is created. As parameters, I use x and y. And then I assign these to the member variables x and y that I'm going to add. To define variables as members of the class, you have to put the word self in front. And also keep in mind that the first parameter of a method that you add to a class also has to be self. Okay, we defined our first Python class, but this is actually just a point, a position in 2D space. But now let's define a class that has geometry, for example, a rectangle. And what we do now is we derive this class from the shape class that we just defined. In object-oriented programming, this is called inheritance, and this means that the rectangle is a shape, but it will have some extras. It inherits the member variables x and y, but I also define a width and a height for it. Again, I store these new parameters by using member variables for the rectangle, but we also have to assign the x and y. To do this, we can call the init method of the base class from the init method of the rectangle. Therefore, I use the keyword super and call the init method, and I only have to pass x and y because this is the init method of the shape class that has these parameters. After that, I assign width and height to new members of the rectangle class. Okay, the last thing that I want to add is a new method that returns the object, or better to say the information that is stored in this object as string. This method has a special name, two underscores, str, and again two underscores. It is comparable to the toString method of Java or C#. In this method you build and return the string that is used when the object is converted to a string. What happens, for instance, when you pass it as a parameter to the print function. I will show this in a minute. I use the format method here to add the values of the members to the string that I'm going to return. Okay, and now it's time to create a rectangle with some sample values for position and size. We can just add this to the constructor, and then, as I said, I pass the object as parameter to the print function, and the output is rect is at 1010, width is 150 and height is 50. Okay, so let's summarize what we did. We created a shape class with the member variables x and y. For that we can pass the values to the constructor, the init method. From the shape we derived a rectangle class that inherits the x and y members and adds the members width and height. To initialize the x and y members of the base class, we call the init method of this class by using the super keyword. To have a string representation of the rectangle, we implemented the str method in that we build and return the string that contains the data of the members. For this we use the format method that adds these values to the placeholders in curly braces. And I hope it is a bit more clear now what I did in Blender. Here I also defined a base class for the widget that has a constructor and members. And from this I derived a button class that extends the UI widget by adding new members like text or text color and also new methods. In the operator I create some buttons and set the position and size just like we did for the rectangle. Okay guys, let me know if you are interested in more Python coding tutorials that you can use, for example, to create Blender add-ons. If you like JNM, then don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to support me, think about being my patron. Thanks for this, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.